Hello everyone, welcome back to the Into Dreams park, where I build a park from places that I've dreamt about, and I'm trying to redo the town here. I wasn't really happy with how it looked, so what I've done is sort of built a bit more terrain. I've got this hill and I wanted to put a sort of tower on top of it. The pre-made tower I downloaded from the workshop wasn't quite big enough for the path, so I'm building my own. Yeah, there wasn't anything that like a inside of a tunnel. I don't know what you call it, like the archway. It's only very thin, so I had to just replicate the wall multiple times, and I don't know, you can kind of see what I did there. This tower is based on, I don't know what town it is. I can't remember what I was looking for. I was looking up like towers. It might have been a Bavarian tower actually, so it's loosely based on a real life tower. It's not as decorative as the one I downloaded from the workshop, but that's alright, I suppose. Apologies if it's a bit fast, this video. This is about 10 hours of work, condensed down to 20-15 minutes, something like that. So if you want to see it in more detail, I suppose you could always play the video at like half speed or quarter speed. But most of the build of the town is stuff off the workshop, and I can't exactly remember who I've downloaded. But these are all pre-made. Like these buildings are all other people's works, really. But they all fit in. I like having the pre-made buildings because it allows me to focus more on getting the streets looking right. If I had to build every building myself, it would just be here forever. So the biggest problem I have is with the terrain tool. I'm not very good with it. I probably need to learn how to do it a bit better. But I always end up with a bit of raggedy bit that I can't get rid of. I think it's because it's next to a path, so you can't really get rid of it by the path. And yeah, it's just that Professor Worst building ended up sort of sunk into the ground, so I had to do a lot of jigging around of it, moving the walls down and stuff, try and getting it right. But the idea is just to have it look like a very dense and compact town, like, you know, narrow streets, tall buildings. It is based on a dream vaguely, but I can't really remember that much. The only thing I'm going off is my own description in a dream diary, which is I came to a strange town which had a roller coaster going around it, and from what I can vaguely remember it being like a kind of, you know, villagey, oldie timey villagey type of thing. It had a greengrocer and a blacksmith and things like that, you know. So I'm kind of basing it on that, but as for like the layout and stuff like that, I've got no idea. It's just a kind of, I've got a vague description. I go off that and try and build a decent park from those descriptions. So yeah, at the minute it's just packing in all the buildings and then putting in, see how I'm putting in the stuff around it to make them look like they're actually sitting there properly. They're not just plonked down. I like making those like little steps and things. That kind of adds to the building. You can actually imagine walking around the village and it being a real place. I tried to cover up this bit of ground that I couldn't get rid of, but I think in the end I just decided to go for a couple of benches or something like that. Yeah. Nice to have all these pre-made things ready to go. Oven ready, as Boris Johnson would say. And then this was like, I really didn't remember what the entrance to the ride looked like, whether I had a queue or anything like that. So what I've decided on is a kind of town square, and then I'll put a few trees in. So yeah, I've flattened the ground around the entrance to the ride. And then we skip forward a bit here. I think I jumped a bit where I didn't record a bit, but I built like like a flat ground. I'm trying to make like a bit of a pavilion type of area, like a big wide open area. And then my idea was to have like a market, as if there's a market on, and then the queue will be the people walking around the market. So instead of having like a proper queue, it's going to be like a market square with all these things. So it looks like people are visiting the market, but really they're queuing for the ride. And I built a few different market stalls. The hardest thing I've got is putting like the little things on the on the counter there. You know, this one's supposed to be like a food stall, and you can see I've kind of hidden the queue underneath the ground there, and I'm just putting things in to make it look like people are walking around it. The idea is to try and fill in with as much natural scenery as possible, so it looks like they're walking around a natural area, but actually they're like kind of fenced in by the market itself. Like I said, this is nothing from the dream. It's just I'm going off the idea that it's in a town, and I need some way of getting a queue, and I thought it would be fun to put this in. You know, I'm making a little fortune teller here. Yeah, I think the market stalls were based basically on what I put in. If you watched the previous episode where I put in someone else's workshop creations, where they'd made some market stalls, some like modern market stalls or fairground stalls, I think they were. I took that idea basically and made some like medieval looking market stalls. So yeah, that's our little fortune teller. Now we've got a candy stall. And it's very hard. There's very little small things that you can put like onto a counter like that. Those candy canes are about as small as they get, but the rest of it is kind of half of an object, like the tip of an object sunk into the ground. So yeah, pretty simple. It's not, I mean, I didn't want to spend forever building these stalls. And I think I go through a bit here. We're looking for something to put on to the counter. But there's, you can see, like everything I pick is big. There's a carrot I found, which is supposed to be a snowman's nose. But like most other objects are just giant, so yeah, a bit more decoration. I think I removed the signs off the back of those stalls and just put them hanging drapes around. It looks a bit better. So yeah, I think I've decided, yeah, this guy's going to be a bookseller. Nothing I like more on a market than a bookseller. They're all spooky books, so they're animated and they jump around, but I've like switched them all off so they just sit there like a normal book. And yeah, what else am I going to build? There's a lot of things. Oh, there we go. We're putting the drapes on the back. It looks a bit better, but then I've got to put something on the top to hold the drapes in place. Yeah, I think that looks better. Looks a bit more natural. I don't know what I like. I think maybe if I'd had a bit more time, I wouldn't just have the flat background on the stalls. I don't know. Maybe I'd have them made out of wood or something. But I was just kind of. It looks good when it's all combined. When it's a bustling market stall. And these weird idle animatronic people, I've just put in whatever there is, so there's like pirates and cowboys and things running these stalls. Yeah, this is like a flower seller, so I'm trying to get some kind of thing where it looks like the flowers are in containers, which is quite difficult. Because there's no small containers that just sit nicely on the counters there. Using some art shapes to make them look kind of alright, I suppose. Hanging baskets do a lot of good, hide a lot of sins. I'm saving blueprints so I can copy them easily later. I might share them on the workshop. And this is the final stall I make. I think this is a fruit and veg stall that I'm making. I might look on the workshop, see if there's any other market stalls as well. Put them in. This guy's selling, I don't know what that's meant to be, a basket of sprouts or something. A couple of honeydew melons. Not a lot of fruit and veg to put in. There's a carrot for a snowman's nose and a couple of spooky pumpkins in the horror pack, but I think I just resort to changing the colour of pumpkins on the back shelves there. That looks sort of okay. Looks alright-ish. Not my favourite of the stalls, but it's okay. It's all about creating an atmosphere where, you know, it's all combined together. Not one piece on its own, it's the whole thing. There's a lot of things built in with the scenery, these like little stalls, like flower sellers and cheese sellers and stuff, so I've just put them down and put like animatronic people behind them. Stacking up a load of crates and barrels. I'm just stacking around the place to kind of fill it in. They fill in the gaps so it feels like it's an actual queue system. Like it looks natural, but if you look, there's no gaps where the customers could like, where the guests could like run off and sneak through or something like that. Not really, not unless he's squeezed. Here I'm trying to build like a little bar, so I'm putting people on the chairs. A couple of pirates who are looking out at the guests as they go past. A barmaid stood by the barrel at the back there, and then a bit of a pause. I don't know what that is. Maybe I went off to make a cup of tea or something. Yeah, putting some lights in there. I'm still not found anything good to put on the counter in place of glasses apart from the emergency light, which I did copy off someone else on the workshop. But they end up looking a bit like covered coffee mugs rather than actual like beer steins or something. So it's a bit of a shame. There's nothing like small to put on like countertops. I'm just putting guests sitting around. Make it all look lively. So this looks like a nice sort of bustling marketplace with a little, you know, beer tent and things like that. Just trying to tell a story as people go around the queue. And I'm just filling it with random people. A cop sat with a explorer and a businessman and a cowgirl. I don't know. It's a dream, innit? It doesn't make no sense. Yeah, put a candle on each thing and then put those weird emergency lights turned upside down. They look kind of like cups from a distance, but I would prefer something a bit better. So if anyone's got a suggestion for a different object I could use in place of a emergency light that looks a bit more like a cup. Yeah. And then we're just, making, kind of bulking it out with more flowers so that people look like they're winding through the queue a bit more naturally. Stacking up barrels around the beer tent. And then we're getting a load more stalls in place. And then behind the stalls I'm putting in a lot of like cargo and stuff to make it look like the whole town square's been filled out with stuff. There you go. It's absolutely packed as well. People love this ride. It's not even a very exciting ride, but I think it's the fact that it's, and maybe it's prestigious because of all the scenery around it. I don't know. They love it anyway. And then I'm building like a town square here, putting the buildings around it, the pre-made buildings that I've downloaded. And it's all just about tidying it up. I'm not too good at placing the scenery. Been watching a few tutorials. I've put in hundreds and hundreds of hours into this game, but I've never really like tried to teach myself to play it properly. Like there's loads of good tutorials on like laying paths and placing scenery in a clever way, and I've never watched any of them before. So I'm watching all this stuff. I'm like, bloody hell, why have I put like 300-400 hours into this game and never actually looked up how to do any of this stuff? So I'm learning as I go. But yeah, this is behind the scenes, behind the market. For the guests, they wouldn't really see it apart from just sort of peeking between the markets, so it looks a bit more realistic. So yeah, as you can see, if we look this way, it kind of looks like the town's almost completed. Obviously all these things are going to be filled with houses, and I don't know why so many people are coming this way. The rest of the park is absolutely empty. Everyone seems to want a piece of this town here, and people are just vandalizing the place constantly. I'm going to have to try and sort that out, but I don't know, train up my security guards a bit more. But anyway, Yeah, this is the town. I kind of like this area. I kind of like it more now that I've got, you know, a bit of change in gradient or whatever you call it. Bit of elevation. But it is a pain in the arse trying to fit the buildings in and do the terrain. So yeah, it looks alright. People are enjoying the town. It looks like a believable town once we've got some stuff behind here for places for people to go. It'll start to look quite believable, I suppose. And gone into a building. Yeah. Look how many people are just crowded into these places. It's absolutely insane. I don't even know why there's so many people here. And we'll take a look around. We'll move a bit more slowly. Obviously, this side's got to be filled in, but it's just going to be more the same copy and paste in buildings and stuff. And I've never seen balloons with logos on them. Anyway, that's weird. I'm not going to question it. So as we go into the market, we're going to just look this way because we'll pretend that the other side is completely filled with people as well. That's where the people come off the ride. And there's like a few market stalls, and then we go in here. This is the entrance to the coaster, really, and everyone's coming off. What the hell? Has it broken down? Might have broken down. We're going to see an absolute train of people coming out of here now. Yeah, broken down. Anyway, we'll go and have a look around. It looks quite nice. We've got a little a guy sitting on the fountain there. There's a fountain in the middle of the square, but you could hardly tell because it's so packed with market stalls and things. You notice how it's all kind of filled in, so it's not really like people could, if they were queuing, they'd know the natural way to go. There's not actually any ropes around the queue, but it's more just like you can kind of naturally tell which way you're meant to go. You could, I suppose, guests could sneak through here and stuff if they wanted, if they were cheeky, but luckily they're well behaved. I apologise for all the clicking. I haven't really set up my microphone properly, so it's not really set up very well. It's going to pick up all the noise of the mouse and stuff. We go through the stalls. See all the back workings there. There's our fortune teller. I feel like there should be something more in there, but I don't really know what. A few more market sellers. I quite like the pub area. That's probably the best bit. You see these guys like staring out at the guests as they go past. It's like, who are all these people? He's even got his telescope out, and then we've got all our madcap guests. A madcap selection of guests all drinking together from their emergency lights. There might be a better bit of scenery to do the cups with, but I couldn't find it. Usually if you turn something upside down it'll look like something else, but yeah. Here we go, it's quite nice. And then the guests are led up. When the ride's working, they go up here onto the coaster. And these guys are happy even though the whole thing's broken down. And then we just imagine that all this is full of buildings and things. It will be eventually. It'll all be filled in nicely, like your mum was last night. And then who knows what the rest will be. But yeah, I don't think I'll show the whole build of the rest of the town because it will just be more of the same. I'm going to try and do it a bit more quickly than I've done so far. But yeah, why is everyone crowding around this little area? I don't know. It's crazy. It's just, they seem extremely confused by the fork in the road. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's all the people who just came off the roller coaster. Security guard. Here comes the mechanic to fix things up. Come on, mate. Come on, come on. Look at him idling along all the time in the world. Don't worry about us. The guests can wait. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, all these rides are free, so it doesn't really matter that much. But you know, I'd like to be able to have a park. All right, mate. Yeah, you happy? Are you? You gonna repair the ride? So all these people here can look at this kid. I saw him before actually. I thought, what the hell is this kid? Elton John, biggest Elton John fan. Yeah, you found the problem, have you? Is that it? We're done. I did watch a video where someone pointed out a problem with this game where if you build your exits all the way at the end of the station, this gate doesn't close until people have walked all the way to the end and gone out the exit, so it makes the rides even worse. It makes like the ride waiting worse because it means they're sat on the ride all this time and there's no like their excitement levels dropping down, you know what I mean? Look, all these people pissed off. Like, bloody hell, what the hell? I can't believe they made us sit on that ride all that time. Anyway, look at the guests coming back to enjoy the... They're like, yes, it's open again, guys, let's go. But yeah, I think this will look good once it's all filled in. We've got the... I can imagine all the buildings there. It looks like you're actually in a town and you've got these insane roller coasters. Yeah, I can imagine it all looking good. People's feet slightly sink into the path. Don't look at that, it's fine. It doesn't happen all the time, it's just in some places the terrain's a bit funny. Whatever. Anyway, I thought I would just show off that because that's what I've built so far. Little marketplace, little village, and I think it looks quite good so far. And I'm very grateful to all the people who've built things on the workshop that have speeded up the process greatly. So yeah, alright guys, thanks for watching. Look at the profit, minus 116 grand. We're actually making such little money. I've been looking through my dream diary. I found some other interesting bits in there that I think I could build. Some other ideas. And yeah, call it trash. I need some more bins. Alright. See you later.